You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by LevelTradingField.com, the online communication, research, and quantitative platform with the largest collection of financial tools for traders, including the innovative Bitcoin Market Predictor. The Bitcoin Market Predictor is a simple prediction game where 10 people place bets on the future price of Bitcoin, and the top 3 most accurate predictions wins. Sign up at LevelTradingField.com with promo code INSIDER. The Options News Rundown is also brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Options News Rundown for Thursday, January 31st. My name is Mark Longo. Your usual host, Dan Passarelli, is on assignment. And let's get started before we look ahead to Thursday by actually looking back at what was lighting up the tape in the options world on Wednesday. Our top 10 most actives for Wednesday, starting off at number 10 with Tesla. 234,000 contracts on the tape, pretty much evenly split between calls and puts. Then Bank of America, number 9 with 259,000 contracts. Pretty strong call bias, 71% of that activity coming on the call side of the fence. Number 8 is AT&T, aka Telephone, with 272,000 contracts on the tape. About 55% of those, are 150,000, coming on the call side of the ledger. Number 7, NVIDIA. Number 1 a couple of days ago, now down to number 7, 325,000 contracts on the tape. Only 34% of those coming on the call side, so about 66% coming on the put side. Pretty heavy put bias. Not that hard to imagine given the recent activity out there in NVIDIA. And then number 6, Microsoft, 388,000 contracts. Pretty strong call bias here as well. About 2/3 of the paper coming in the calls. Number 5, GE, 435,000 contracts, almost evenly split between calls and puts. Number 4, BABA, 497,000 contracts on the tape, 47% coming on the call side. Number 3, Facebook, 601,000 contracts. That's a very strong day, well over 2x their ADV of about 270,000 contracts. 2/3 of that coming on the call side of the fence. Number 2, AMD, continuing to be hot and heavy here on this earnings week. 785,000 contracts going up there, exactly evenly split between calls and puts. And number 1, I bet you can't guess what it is. Yep, it was Apple again. 990,000, almost a million contracts. That's VIX volume, people. 990,000 contracts on the tape, 56% coming on the call side of the fence. Of course, we had a number of big names popping off after the bell on Wednesday, including Facebook, Microsoft, Tesla, PayPal, Visa, Qualcomm, and more. Before the bell, we had Boeing, AT&T, McDonald's, Alibaba, Sirius XM, ADP, NASDAQ, and many more there as well. Let's see how a few of those big names you guys like to trade, fared in their after-hours trading, at least compared to what the options market was pricing in. Let's start with Facebook. Facebook closing at 150 and about a half, up about 6 1/4 on the day, a little over 4%. They were pricing in, according to our earnings move reports, courtesy of our friends over there at ORATS, they were pricing in a little over $9.08. A fairly rich straddle, particularly considering that in past moves they've expected about $7.25. Yet it seems like that was underpriced, given the upside we're seeing here in the after hours. Facebook stock at $167.75 in the after hours, up $17.32 or 11.5%. So almost 2x that straddle they were pricing in. Of course, we'll have to wait for the official opening bell on Thursday to mark and put a stamp on the exact move after the earnings. But so far in the after hours, it seemed like not a bad bet for premium buyers out there in Facebook. Let's see if the same can be said for Tesla. They closed north of that much watched 300 level yesterday, 308.77. They're up 11 handles during the day. And then they were pricing in, looks like about $28 in their earnings straddle. Also pretty rich than previous expected moves. They priced in about $20.25, so almost $8 rich compared to recent straddles. Of course, actual moves, they've also moved about $20.61. So again, rich compared to previous moves. In the same quarter, they've moved about $25.70. So rich by just about every measure, but given the volatility we've seen out there in Tesla of late, hard to really blame them. Let's see how it paid off. And in the after hours, Tesla closed right around 294. They were off nearly 15 handles, or about 5%. So an aggressive move to the downside, pretty much giving back everything they made intraday, but not quite exceeding that $28 straddle, pretty much half of it. So at least in the first blush, we'll have to wait till they open, but at least in the first blush, seems like premium sellers perhaps winning the day out there in Tesla. Now let's move ahead to Microsoft. Microsoft closed about 106.40, up $3.40, or about 3.3% out there. Microsoft was pricing in about exactly $4 for their earnings straddle. In the past, they priced in about $3.60, so it's a little bit richer than we've seen in the past. Actual moves, they've actually moved about $3.62, so right in line with their previous straddles. This one may be a little bit rich by comparison. Same quarter, they only moved $2.42. Let's see how they fared in the after hours session, and they were off not quite $3, about $2.90, or about not quite 3%. Again, a little bit light compared to that straddle of $4, about a dollar differential there. We'll have to wait for the open for the official marker, the official demarcation, but it seems like a little bit light in the premium delivery for Microsoft during the earnings cycle. And let's wrap it up here with Qualcomm. They closed right around $50, and going into the after hours, they were pricing in a straddle of $2.53. Previous straddles have come in right around $2.19, so again, a little bit rich compared to previous straddles. Actual moves, they've delivered a little bit shy of $2, about $1.98. Same quarter, they've moved about exactly $2.50. So maybe you could see how some of that pricing came into effect for this quarter. And in the after hours, seems like they were also light in terms of delivering on their straddle, up about $1.25, or about 2.5%. So pretty much exactly half what the market had been pricing in. If you'd like to read these full reports for yourselves, or perhaps check out the earnings move results reports, where the folks over there at ORATS will crunch all the numbers officially after the opening bell, you can find that all at theoptionsinsider.com. Just search for ORATS, ORATS, in our search bar. All these earnings move and earnings move results reports will come up again. It's pretty much the only place you can get this data, certainly for free, during earnings season, so I heartily encourage you to take advantage of it. And speaking of earnings, let's see which names you guys out there are looking forward to trading in this hot and heavy earnings week. We asked you once again to play along via our handle @options on Twitter. If you haven't voted in our polls in the past, @options is the place to do it. And we gave you 4 choices this week. Which ones are you looking forward to trading? Amazon, Facebook, Apple, or Microsoft? And coming at the bottom, a distant fourth, Facebook, only 14%. No love for Facebook. A bit of a hot and heavy fight for second place, really, is Microsoft at 21% and Apple at 22%. So we'll put them together as a tie for second, even though it's really second and third. And then, of course, number 1 with a bullet, Amazon, which has yet to report. So stay tuned to theoptionsinsider.com. On Thursday, you should have an earnings move report coming up for Amazon, as well as the other names popping off after the bell on Thursday, including Symantec and many others up there. Don't forget, vote along in all of our polls at Options on most of the major social media platforms, including StockTwits and Twitter, The Options Insider on Facebook, and we'll see you back here on Friday for more of your Options News Rundown.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.